Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 7, and in this presentation, we will talk about the trauma brain injury. So, the first time is I will introduce my group member. Next slide, please. So, this is our group member. The first is Ahmad Adisan, myself, and Asia Sabita Alkarima, Dika Aradi Widatama, Noro Andini, and Sefira Nur Hasina. Okay, the next presenter will be Toro. Toro, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Hadi. So, what is a traumatic brain injury or TBI? So, traumatic brain injury or TBI refers to a brain injury that is caused by an outside force. TBI can be caused by a forceful bump, blow, or jolt to the head or body, or from an object entering the brain. Not all blows or jolt to the head result in TBI. Some types of TBI can cause temporary or short-term problems with brain function, including problems with how a person thinks, how a person understands, moves, communicates, and acts. More serious TBI can lead to severe and permanent disability and even death. Some injuries are considered primary, meaning the damage is immediate. Others can be secondary, meaning they can occur gradually over the course of hours, days, or weeks after injury. These secondary brain injuries are the result of reactive processes that occur after the initial head trauma. There are two broad types of head injuries. First is penetrating TBI, also known as open TBI, happens when an object pierces the skull, for example, a bullet, shrapnel, bone fragment, and the others, and enters the brain tissue. Penetrating TBI typically damage only part of the brain. Second is non-penetrating TBI, also known as closed head injury or blunt TBI, is caused by an external force strong enough to move the brain within the skull. Causes include falls, motor vehicle crashes, sport injuries, blast injuries, or being struck by an object. Some accidents or trauma can cause both penetrating and non-penetrating TBI in the same person. So for the next slide will be presented by Asia. Asia, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Roro. This slide is sign and symptom. So here it is divided into two, namely physical and sensory. For physical, there is headaches, nausea or vomiting, fatigue or drowsiness, problem with speech, and dizziness or loss of balance. And for sensory is blurred vision, ringing in the ears, a bad taste in the mouth or changes in the ability to smell, and sensitive to light or sound. Okay, next slide will be read by Dika Dika Tabisers.
Okay, thank you, Asia. The next, I will explain the treatment of traumatic brain injury, which consists of five. The first is medical care, the emergency care. The main focus is to stabilize the patient condition, stop the bleeding, and ensure adequate oxygen supply to the brain. The surgery may be need to remove the blood clot, repair skull fracture, or the reduce pressure on the brain. Medication are given to the manage pain, serious swelling, and the mood disorder. Physical therapy, improve the physical function, physical exercise, walking training, and the use of the walking aids aim to improve strength, balance, and the coordination. Restoring mobility through this therapy, patients can return to their daily activities such as walking, standing, and other physical activity. Occupational therapy, even, even this therapy help the patient regain the independence in the performing daily activity such as dressing, bathing, and cooking. The overcoming cognitive challenge, the occupational therapy also help to overcome cognitive the difficult than the often occur after traumatic brain injury. Speech therapy improve the communication. The speech therapy help to improve speech, language, and the swallowing problem. The improve comprehension. The exercise provide aim to improve the ability to understand and use language. The last orthotic and prosthetic. The improve mobility, assistive device such like brace, EVO, knee brace, and the prosthesis help amputee to move around more easily. The prevent deformity. The device also serve to prevent deformity in the limb and improve stability and reduce pain with the proper use the assist device. Pain due to the injury can be reduced. Thank you. The next presentation is Hadi. Hadi, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dika. So this is the pathophysiology of traumatic brain injury. So the TBI involves complex process that can be broadly categorized into primary and secondary injuries. So for the primary injury, immediate damage. This occurs at the moment of impact and includes mechanical force that cause brain tissue deformation, such as contusions, laceration, and axonal injury. So for the secondary injury is the inflammation. So the inflammation is the injury triggers trigger on the inflammatory response, leading to the activation of the immune cells and the release of pro-inflammatory cytokinesis, which can exacerbate neural damage. The next is blood-brain barrier disruption or BBB. So TBI can compress the integrity of the BBB, allowing harmful substance and activate lymphocytes to enter the brain tissue, contributing to the edema and further injury. So the next is cerebral edema. So the cerebral edema is swelling at the brain tissue occurs due to fluid accumulation, increasing intracranial pressure and potentially leading to further brain damage. Next is ischemia and hypoxia. So reduced blood flow and oxygen supply to brain tissue can result in ischemic injury, further damage neurons. Next is exocytocity. Excessive release of neurotransmitters like glutamate leads to neural overactivation and cell death. Next is oxidative stress. So oxidative stress is the production of free radicals and reactive oxygen species causes oxidative damage to brain cells. Next is mitochondrial dysfunction. So mitochondrial dysfunction is impaired mitochondrial function, disrupts cellular energy production, contributing to cell death. Okay, the next presenter will be Safira. Safira, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Hadi. And this slide, I will talk about the conclusion. So the TBI is a serious condition caused by head trauma. It can lead to a range of problems from mild to severe, affecting physical abilities, thinking, and emotion. Early detection and treatment are important for better outcomes. In the modern tools and surgeries have improved how we manage TBI, but the recovery often requires long-term therapy. Preventing TBI is the key through the use of helmet, seat belt, or safety practice. Educating the public about these measures can help reduce the number of injuries. So overall, supporting people with TBI requires a team effort from doctors, therapists, caregivers, and the community. Ongoing research is needed to find better treatments and improve life for those who are affected by TBI. Okay, next slide. Here is the additional information. First, falls are the most common cause of TBI, and TBI is a major cause of death and disability. TBI during childhood may affect brain development. TBI may lead to long-term health problem, and a TBI can cause hidden changes. The next slide, please. So this is our references. Going back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Safira. Okay, thank you for watching and hearing our lecture. So thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay,